everybody, welcome back to my channel Stitchy AF. This is a Stitch with me on Gamer by Gecko Rouge, and it's Stitch with me number 4. It's a Wednesday today, and I didn't get a chance to record on Saturday like I normally would for these because I was away for the Friday night and most of Saturday because we went to Ed Sheeran's concert in Brisbane. So yeah, that was fun. It was a busy weekend, but it just meant, by the time I got home and kind of sat down to stitch, the family had come home, so that always makes it hard to do the recordings because they just want to talk and chat and ask a billion questions. So yeah, I didn't get a chance over the weekend, so I wanted to jump on and record one now, and then I'll record another one in a couple of days on Saturday. I just want to say a huge thank you to... Oh, sorry, I've bumped the camera again. I've set my camera up in a different way, so I'm actually in my stitchy corner instead of... cat. Quick, you gotta get off the... Bizzle, baby. There you go. There's not that much room, but you've completely knocked my whole setup. So he just stood on the bottom of my stood on my excess fabric, and the whole Q-snap moved through my stand. Baby, where are you going? You're right in Mummy's way. I'm so sorry about this. As I was saying, I'm in my stitching chair, so obviously the cats have decided I'm not doing anything important here. Come on, find a little spot and curl up, buddy. You can stop knocking all my stuff around. Yeah, I'm trying a different setup. I've bought a different stand. Oh, Bizzle, baby. Come on, down off Mummy's chair. Off you go. Thank you, baby. You can come back up later. I've bought a different stand for my camera so that it can actually sit over top of my work properly. Because on my desk it was right in the way, so I felt like I was just bumping it all the time. Plus the stand wouldn't balance properly, so it would fall occasionally. Like I'd have to weight it down with like just random objects off my desk. So I've got this new stand, and it actually came last night, so I was like, oh, perfect, I will use that while I to film my Stitch with me's, and it worked out that I can do that today with it. It is gonna be much easier for me in here. Oh, sorry, hand right in the way. It might take me a while to find the perfect setup, so I stop putting my hand in your face, but it's much better for me to be here because I've got all my stuff around. I don't have to drag all my things out to my office every time I want to film a stitch with me. So anyway, back to what I was saying before I got distracted by my camera stand and my hoodie tat. Yeah, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all of my new subscribers that I've had since the last stitch with me. I am getting a lot of really just positive feedback in regards to these videos, so I'm just so happy that other people are enjoying it. Like I've said before, I really enjoy these stitch with me videos. I enjoy watching them. Oh, sorry, now the cat is just scratching at the carpet. Sorry if you can hear that. Yeah, I really enjoy watching these videos, and I especially enjoy watching them when the person is talking, because it really does just feel like you're sitting there and you're stitching with a friend. You might not be able to conversate back with them, but it's just a nice feeling. You don't feel quite so isolated when you're doing it, in your own house by yourself, in the quiet of your stitching chair. I feel like this camera is in a really bad spot for where my top hand goes right in front of the camera. So thank you to everyone. I hope you do enjoy them. Thanks for everyone who is returning every time I post a new one, and I'm always happy to have comments and any feedback, suggestions, anything like that, more than welcome. But it's just, it's a really nice feeling to know that others are enjoying what I'm doing. Oh, and I've made a mistake. Well, that's fine. Easy fix, easy fix. That's what I get for talking. I enjoy it, but it can lead to mistakes. Come on. Come out a bit easier than that. So I've normally a little bit more zoomed in, I think, than I am today, but I wanted to kind of leave it zoomed out enough so that you could see some of the hair I've done. So obviously last video I said that I would get to a point where I was doing a lot of the hair so that I could show, kind of how I'm working the process. And then obviously, because I couldn't film on Saturday, I still wanted to stitch on this. And I did try to film a little bit, but then that's when everybody kind of came home and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's not going to work for me then. And also when I tried to film, I wasn't as prepared as I probably could have been for the hair part. But now that I've worked on it over the weekend, I know what I'm doing. I reasonably could possibly know what I'm doing with the conversion of the hair. Um, so it's probably better that I didn't film it on the weekend when I was still a little bit confused. And now we'll be able to have a kind of, I'll be able to show you and have a bit of a look at it now. So yeah, so I wanted to be zoomed out enough that you could kind of see some of the hair there already. And I'd love for you guys, it's obviously on my Instagram as well, I post all of the pictures for it, but I would love to hear feedback, whether you think that it's looking good, whether you think that I could be doing something a little bit differently. I don't know, this is the first big piece that I've ever really had to convert like this. You know, other smaller pieces, it probably doesn't matter if it's just like one giant black blob. But on this one with the shading, I'm kind of just winging it, but I've kind of got a plan. So, just flying by the seat of my pants and hoping it works out. And I hope that it looks good, so always open to a bit of feedback about what I could possibly do to make it look a bit better if I needed to. So yeah. So I hope everyone's had a good week and a half since the last time I uploaded a stitch with me. Like I said, I went to Ed Sheeran with my mum and my two sisters and one of my brother-in-laws. And it was amazing. Ed Sheeran is an absolute amazing performer. He just smashes it every time. We've seen him the last time he toured in Australia, so 2017, we went to his concert then and were blown away by it, and then this one was no different. He's just, he knows how to do it. He was saying, because he talks a bit, you know, in the middle of his songs and that type of stuff, and he was saying that his first tour, he was touring for like 8 years straight. So, I mean, the hard work and dedication definitely shows, because he puts on amazing shows. But yeah, he said that, and then it was pretty cool, because when we went and saw him, it was the Friday, the 17th of February, and that's his birthday. So we were like there for his birthday with him. The whole crowd at one point started singing happy birthday to him, and which was just awesome. And did I do that again? Guys, I keep messing up. I've gone one too many that way. This video might be a super long one if I can't stitch properly. Anyway. Mistakes were made, they can be corrected. Probably wouldn't have even known the difference if I had just left it, but yeah, so he is amazing. It was his birthday. We sang happy birthday to him. He got us to, all of the crowd, to turn their flashlights on their phones, and we did a countdown, and he pretended to blow them out like he was blowing out birthday candles. So it was pretty cool. 60,000 people, and I've said to the kids, oh, what'd you do on Friday night? Because I was at Ed Sheeran's birthday party. So, but yeah, great night. It was a great performance. I'm really lucky. We do a lot of concerts. My mum and my sisters and I, we do try to go to a fair few concerts. So, yeah, it is always a really great experience and good memories. Mum and I are going to Pink when she returns to Australia in 2024. So yeah, Mum and I got tickets for that. My sisters are not going to come to that one because they're going to go to Taylor Swift with my nieces. So Taylor's announced a tour, but she hasn't announced any Australian dates that I know of yet. But my sister said, like, it'd be just my luck that I buy this ticket for Pink and then all of a sudden Taylor announces. So they held off. They're not going to come to Pink this time because they're going to go to Taylor Swift. But I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift. So I have no interest in going to that concert. But, and I mean, I don't think, in my opinion, between Taylor and Pink, there's no real choice there. It's always going to be Pink for me. So, and she's amazing performer, absolutely amazing as well. So we went to her last Australian tour, and we actually had VIP tickets because my mum had we'd bought ones to the tour before that, and then we got up there on the day that it was meant to be, and then the concert got cancelled because that's when she got tonsillitis or something like that, so she had to cancel the shows, and she'd rescheduled them for the next week, but we'd already taken a day off work and had paid for accommodation that weekend. Like, we couldn't really afford to go back, so we had to just get a refund on our ticket. So we were really like bummed out about that. But then so then when she came back, Mum was like, we're getting these tickets, we're getting them no matter what. So in the end, Mum actually bought us VIP tickets just to get the tickets. And we were part of the VIP ticket was that we got to go in like before everyone else. So we were the first 50 people into the concert. So we ended up getting right up against the barricade. So it was like us, the barricade, security, and then the stage. So she was right there, right in front of us, and it was absolutely the best experience of my whole life. Like, well, I mean, I guess not, like I've had babies, but best concert experience of my whole life. She just is amazing. But this time around, we've bought seated tickets because Mum is having, oh God, I cannot get this thread on this. Mum is going to be having double knee surgery this year. So it's just a bit too much for her knees to be standing or anything in at concerts anymore. So we just get the seated tickets, which, I mean, the shows are still amazing, so that's fine. Plus we get to rest a bit if our legs give up dancing. So yeah, so that's been pretty eventful. We've just been school, work, and after school sports. So it's been a busy time for all of us getting back into all of the sport and all of the sport and stuff. I've been running a little ragged doing all of these things, and then last night my partner said to me, oh, I just happened to walk through this shop, and I think that you need to go there to buy just these, like, 2 grocery items, because it'll save us. And I was like, dude, I said, is it really saving me, though? Because the mental strain I have at the moment with work, kids' sporting events, and doing it, I said, I don't really want to drag 4 kids into a shop for 2 items. I just want to get my groceries and go home. Like, I don't. And he's like, okay, yep, no, don't forget I said it. So I was like, and because, you know, he said, oh, I'll do the groceries. And I was like, yeah, but the thing is, you're a bit of a cheapskate. So you either don't buy things that we really need because it's not on sale, or then he buys only the sale items, which is stuff that none of us really eat. Like, we don't need it. So I was like, are you the best person to be doing the grocery shopping? We get stuff we don't need, and the stuff we do need, you're like, oh, but it wasn't on sale, so I'm not buying it. Oh, it's like, I love you. Stick to your jobs in the house. We have pretty good system of who does what around here. I was like, stay in your lane, bud. I'll handle it. But I was like, because he said, oh, I walked through the shop. These items. And I was like, well, then why didn't you just buy them while you were in there, instead of coming home, writing them on the shopping list and saying, oh yeah, but I think you need to go to this place for it. Okay. I was like, but you were inside the shop, right? You were standing right in front of that item and then taking note of the price. And he's like, yeah. It's like, all right, mate. God love him. And save me $1 by making us go into one shop. It was a bit wild with my parking just here. What's that? That is actually... Okay, that's actually a parked road. Yeah, so other than all of that, I haven't been doing too much. I have been stitching a bit more than like the past couple of weeks, but I've only really been stitching on this. So not necessarily yeah, I haven't been really stitching on any other project. Like, this has kind of got my focus at the moment, and it's where I want to do it, especially considering I've kind of my stitching bug is kind of not really there. Like, I'm not super like wanting to stitch, and I think that's because maybe the whip go goals I had, maybe the whip go goals I had this month were a little bit too I don't want to say too much. They're just projects I don't really want to work on now that I think about it. So I think maybe that's why I haven't really been pushing myself to do any stitching. Because, like, I like the projects, I want to get them done, and like, one is a new start, which I definitely want to do, but I just, every time I think, oh yeah, well, I'll do that new start, it's like, do I have the energy to want to do that new start? Like, I've finally pulled everything out for it, but I'm just not feeling it. So, but I want to do this, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do this project. I was thinking about it the other day, and like I like the concept of Whitgo, and last year I had two boards and I had blackouts on both boards. Which was fun, it was good. But like this year I'm like, I don't know. Because last year was the first year I kind of did challenges. And then I realised some of the challenges, I was like, no, it's just making me not want to stitch. But I stuck with Whip Go because I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I was still doing the no new starts. So I was like, anyway, if I do the Whip Go, I know I'm going to touch all of my projects for that year. But now that I've done that, I'm like, oh, well, been there, done that. Like, do I really need to keep up with this challenge? And I think I'm not going to be as kind of strict with myself with it. If I do the goal, I do the goal. If I don't do the goal, I don't do the goal. I'm just going to work on whatever I feel like working on. And at the moment, this is the one I have the most willingness to do. I find that I just marked that off, but I don't know what number 10. The reason that this was like a weekend project is because I was like, oh, it's just so big, like, do I really want to pull it out during the week? But I mean, it sits in my stand, so I'm not really pulling it out of anything. It's kind of always just sitting there ready to go. So I don't have an excuse really to not be, able to do this through the week. I just thought, oh, it takes a bit more time, brain power, but that was before I was doing the Royal Rose method, I guess. So anyway, point of that whole rant and ramble is that I have mostly just been stitching on this. I do think that I've done that wrong. No? Yes? There. I do think that this Royal Rose method, I seem to be a bit quicker at it, getting things done with it, and it it seems to just be going a lot quicker following this method. And I think maybe that's why I'm so invested in this project at the moment, because I am seeing a lot of progress. Plus I'm getting to the hair, which I was excited about, to see if I could pull off this conversion. And just below where I've stitched, so just below where the camera cuts off, is actually like where her face is going to start. So, like I always think when you get to a certain point at a project and you're close to something that you kind of really want to see come to life, it's always a huge motivator to want to keep you stitching on that. So, yeah. So, I'm doing this brown here now. So, it's a dark brown, and I don't really know on camera if it's showing up as... I don't even know where my camera is to... Whoop. Yeah, it's not going to zoom into it. Anyway. It's a dark brown, So this is actually part of like the edge line of her hair. And I've left this as a dark brown for a couple of reasons. So even though it is the outline to her hair, it is also used along the borders of the banner, around the stars, like anywhere there's kind of like an outline of something. This dark brown is used within that 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of used within that borderline. So I thought to myself that maybe keeping it in there isn't such a bad idea, because one, it'll help it kind of keep that same effect of the other borders. There's not, I've checked my whole pattern on Pattern Keeper, there's not like any like real solid areas of this colour. So it's not like, normally like with the one-off stitches, you kind of, unless you're looking up close, you're not seeing them once the black has gotten beside it or whatever, or around it. So it's 2, 3. Yeah, you're not really seeing it once the black goes around it, but if you look closely at it, it is kind of tying it into the rest of the outlines in the pattern. So at the moment, I can't see it being a problem to keep using it, but I do just kind of keep an eye on it as I'm working through the project to make sure that it is still looking the way I want it to look. I don't want it to be too obvious, and if it is, I will pull it. But at the moment, that brown seems to be working okay, because it is only kind of around the edges of the hair. So I'm kind of like, as I'm working the hair, of kind of, especially around those borders, just kind of looking at how they sit in there and whether the colour should be changed or not. Yeah, so I'm not sure. The border has a couple of different colours in it that I just thought, yeah, it might look okay just to give it that little bit more of a definition and kind of keep that same look that everything else in the pattern has, with that kind of pixelated border, I guess. And see, there's a dark purple right beside where I just put that half stitch in, and that goes around the borders too, and I think it just ties in, you know, the blurriness between the background and her hair. So far I'm really liking how it's turning out. I think it looks pretty good. Last night I put in this whole bit of dark black shading, so it's starting to give the hair a bit of definition. So I just want to see, you know, we'll go across this top and we'll see how it's looking, and once we get the face in there, make sure that it's blending really well. I'll show you in a minute when I finish this colour. I'll show you how I'm doing the hair with just these two colours and kind of how I'm keeping track of it, because that was going to be my main point of this video anyway. Oh, I kind of felt that slip away, but then didn't really pay too much attention to it. I'm going to do it again. Why am I doing this so much today? I don't think I've ever pulled a needle off this much in this short of a time. Oh, I had that and I thought I was in the wrong hole and I pulled it out. Oh. Sorry, I need to stop for a drink. I haven't done too badly this week. I'm getting some progress from this because I was at, I don't know exactly what I was at. At the start of the month, but I know for sure I was only like 12 point, I must have only been like 12.2% or something through it, like at the end of last week. And so since Saturday when I stitched, I've done a whole percent, which is crazy to talk about it like that. Like, I was so proud of 1% being done, but I mean, it's a lot of work for just 1%. Couple thousand stitches. Oh. Oh, sorry. Look at me, I have nothing to say. It's not a lot's been going on. We've got dance costume try-ons this afternoon, so that's exciting. for my stepdaughter. This is her first year doing dance, and she just wants to, she's like, oh, when do we get to go on the stage though? When are we performing? So, this will be good for her. We'll try on her costume, and hopefully that tides her over for the next month or so until we actually have our first performance. She's just excited to she's just excited, which is good. That's what you want. You want them to be excited about the sport they're doing. I knew that happened. This string is a slippery little bugger, this thread. I don't know why it's just this one doing it. Anyway, I'm nearly done with it. 2 more stitches and then it can... and then it'll be done. Yeah, I can't even get it back on the needle. It's a bit hard this angle because I can't quite see, like I'm kind of looking at it from the bottom. What is that one? Where's it come out? Where's... oh, there, that one. Thank you. Yeah, I'm kind of looking at the fabric from the bottom here, and so I'm getting just a little bit thrown off. Oh! Massive kick to the camera, my apologies. Forgot the camera stand was there. Kicked my leg out. Okay, so now let's go on to what I'm doing with the hair. So I'll show you. I've just written down, not neatly in any way, like the symbol and the number it relates to under, like, so that is all my symbols that I will make black, and these are all my symbols that I will make 3799. So what I do on my pattern keeper, if it'll have me. Why is this? Ugh, bloody pen not syncing with my thing anymore. So I clear off any actual selected thing so that I can just mark up like any symbol I want on my pattern keeper, and then I just work down my list of symbols to work out which ones I want to include in this little sweep of the hair. Oh. So I've got my yin yangs, my smiley faces, and arrows, clovers, clovers, little bombs. Pretty flowers. Oops. Any squares? Nope. Aeroplanes. Excuse me. Aeroplanes. Right. So I think that is all of them. It's doing a quick scan. Yeah, cool. So that is all of that. So now I need to get my black. And then I just stitch based off that. So that is kind of my best plan of attack on this, on how to work out what I'm doing. Oh. And I just went through when I was doing it to try and work out what symbols sat where, how they looked in the whole pattern, blah, 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 blah. I just kind of, I'll show you in a second, just thread my needle. Like, I went through the whole pattern, like, out far enough that when I was selecting a colour, it kind of showed me roughly where on the rest of my pattern this sits. Oh, for some reason, I have a random... Look at this little fella. I didn't do that. I'll get rid of him in a minute when I don't have all these ones highlighted up the top already. Yeah, so I just kind of had zoomed out close enough that you could still kind of see the symbols to be able to select which one you wanted to highlight, and then looked at where on the pattern that highlight kind of sat to in relation to the hair, and whether it should be like a highlight, so the dark grey, or whether it should just be black. And there's some symbols in it, so I'll just get rid of this. Like this symbol that has the black on the bottom and the white at the top of this little square, that is already a very dark colour. So that is one of the ones that I leave there as the colour that it is charted on the chart. So there are a few like that that just get left. As is. Without too much interference from me. The concentration this bit takes is ridiculous because I just have to work out where my little purple box is around what symbol. And this little checkered pattern isn't helping too much. Because, yeah, you obviously can't highlight like multiple symbols. Not that I'm aware of. So I've just got to kind of just select them all to make them sit there and then try and decipher where my boxes are sitting on the pattern. I really like Pattern Keeper, the concept of it and the way that it works. The functionality is really, like, it is intuitive, it's good. But I do use Markup RXP now as well, and I actually really enjoy using that particular app because it maps out, like it has a calendar feature to it where it tells you on this day you stitched this many stitches and your session was this. Which, as far as I know, and I might just not be looking at the right places or whatever, Pattern Keeper doesn't do that. But if Pattern Keeper did do that, like, it would go back to being my only like markup app, because I do just find it's a bit easier to use. But yeah, the Markup XP, I'm actually a tester for that group, and it is the things they're doing, like they're constantly listening, updating, and trying to work things out and give you the best features they can give you. So it is, yeah, it is coming along really nicely. They're doing a great job there, and they troubleshoot errors pretty much as soon as they're known about, and they will fix it up and give us. So it's a great program as well, which is why I find actually any new projects I've started, I've been using Markup XRP, because it does just, yeah, it's really good. Like, the setup bit is the bit that's fiddly with it, the downloading the project, mapping the chart, and everything like that, and adding the colors used to be a pretty big task, but now it will like auto pick up symbols and put those, try and give you the actual read off the key and do it. So they're really good at getting those types of features in there if you ask for those features. And it's gotten better. What was I going to say? Oh, the only thing with it picking up the symbols is that sometimes when it's trying to read your chart, it, like, if the pre-filled chart box is off just a little bit, then, like, it can pick up a symbol and it'll be, say a love heart, but it'll have a red line through it because that's how it's marked out, the center line. But, like, it'll make that symbol a symbol all on its own. It won't just let you kind of, it won't just kind of say, oh, well, it's meant to be this. We can ignore that red line. So, I mean, that's one thing that I'm like, I hope that they can somehow work out a way to fix that up, because that bit can get frustrating, because if you're not conscious of that being a thing, you're not looking for that. And then you think, oh, I've done this colour, and then surprise, surprise, you have a big empty hole right down your centre line. Because, you know, or you try to count off one marked one to your next marked one, and then you're like, oh, I missed this one in the middle of them. So, yeah, that's just one thing though. Like, but I love the way that it tracks your progress. And you can like take photos as you're progressing through it and save them to the project. It's a very good program. So, oh, pardon me. I feel like I've got a bit of like, God, what word am I even trying to look for? I don't know. Insomnia. I feel like I've just got a bit like, I'm so tired during the day, and I could fall asleep so easily, but then at night, once I'm like, alright, go to bed, even if I tell myself we'll go to bed early, I cannot fall asleep. Like, it's hours that I just lay in bed trying to make myself go to sleep. Ben has a huge problem with sleep, and he has since he was really little, and like, I know for him it's a bit of a rough ride, so he might have got that from me, but yeah, I'm just like not sleeping well at all at night, and then in the mornings I have to wake up and go to work and do all those things, and then I feel like I could just stay in bed, like I don't want to get out of bed. I should probably get that checked out by someone. Make sure I'm not make sure I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with my body or hormones or whatever it is that controls my sleep. Because, yeah, I just always feel tired, but at night I just can't switch off no matter what I do. Like, I try to listen to an audiobook, or I've tried meditation before. I've tried, I just listen to soft music or something like that, just to try and get a bit of kind of like noise that I can drown out, but it kind of stops my head twirling around with thoughts and everything. But lately it just hasn't helped at all. I'm just really struggling to get any type of good sleep during the night. So what's that? That one there. Nearly done weaving all this black through. Something just fell at me and I hope it wasn't a spider. Kind of looked like one out of the corner of my eyes. Right, now I just need to find one of those symbols down the bottom. There. Okay. Yep. Sorry. Right. Turn off the lights. Let's have a look at what dark grey symbols, what 399 symbols will be in there. I know this guy is one of them. These envelopes are a part of them. The L isn't, that isn't. What's this little fella? Oh, he is a red. Oh yeah, so he's mostly in. It's just that one line and those couple of symbols there. That's crazy. Alright, while I'm here. Okay. So that one is a bright red. Bright random red. So what I'm gonna do is go back into my thing and get all these ones. I'm going to keep that one in there like that. Okay. These will be my 399, $37.99, I should say. Sorry. See what I mean? At least that was like an organised little thing that you just witnessed. Because the other day when I tried to film this, I was like all over the place. How do I do it? And what am I going to do? How do I work it out? And then I thought, I'll try this little system and see if it works. I'm not going to write that symbol down onto my little sticky note that I have, because where it sits, I think it'll be obvious which ones I should do, should change out, and then the rest all sits with just little motifs. So it'll really just be that line. That I need to watch for and make into a different colour. Oh God, I need to cut off some of these bloody waste threads. Nope. I was just going on autopilot then, like, oh, fill in all the spaces. You should probably pay attention. So then this one. Get those envelopes. I'm really nervous about how this turns out. I hope it turns out really good. It'll be a real disappointing day if it doesn't turn out well, and then I'm like, alright, back to the original colours, and have to rip all this out. Oh. Oh, alrighty. Guys, what am I even doing with my life today? This is why you shouldn't cross stitch on no sleep or something. Oh. Alright. Got that. Easily averted a giant knot. What have I done with that now? I've wrecked a stitch.
finally got some of those snaggets, or whatever they are. Or ones that you just put a little, that you just pull through the thread to the back with. There we go, that looks better. That looks better. And then I'll go over there, because this line goes all the way across. All the way across. I finally got the paperwork for adopting the puppies back today. So I've got just paid for the admin fee of transferring the microchip over to my name. So that's good. Got all that stuff sorted. We need to, they've obviously been really busy over the Christmas period, and like I follow their Facebook page, and they, even today I think, or they put up a post yesterday saying that in the next 3 days they must have 15 rescues coming in, which is just like, oh god, it's so sad. But I punched my light. Yeah, so they have a lot of dogs there, and obviously over Christmas a lot of people were adopting dogs, so they've been really busy. So we've had Bear for 2 months now, either nearly 2 months or just over 2 months. No, he must be, yeah. Anyway, we've had him for a long time, and well, it feels like a long time. I guess a month isn't super long. Yeah, and I've only just heard back from them about all of this paperwork. Because I've been waiting on it for, we need to organise getting him desexed and all of that type of stuff, and I didn't have any of the paperwork for him, and he wasn't chipped to me. I've seen on Facebook actually that the local council here has been given permission to do like a door knock type thing to check on pet registrations. So every residential and rural farmland will be, someone's going to come out and look at your animals and make sure that they are microchipped and everything. So I was like, oh well, I hope that we get his paperwork back so that I can make sure that the microchip is changed over before these people come and think I've just like stolen a dog off some lady. But that's alright, because it's here now, so that'll be fine. He'll be registered. I do that again. Oh no, I'm just blind. Oh my god. I thought for a second there I'd made another mistake. And I was like, great, this video. Fiona's greatest hits of cross-stitching mistakes. The weather is finally starting to cool off a bit, but now we're going into storms, which are no fun for our big old teddy bear. Ooh, I created my own hole. This really is, This is a wild ride, everybody. Yeah, Teddy's not a huge fan of storms. Bear has helped him calm down a little bit in them. But when there's a lot of thunder or lightning around, Teddy gets very scared. So we have to just check for them every day now before we leave the house, just to make sure that it's not going to storm while we're out type thing. Because Teddy's a greyhound, so he just gets out, and if he runs, he can get quite a distance before we could catch up to him. He's a good boy though. I remember there was one time where it was like 3 in the morning or something, and I heard this big clap of thunder, and I woke up and I was like, oh god, I'll go and check on the dog, because we only had Teddy at this stage. And then I went out there and he was just gone, and I looked around the yard and I was calling out his name and couldn't find him, and then so I come back in and I had to wake up my partner and be like, look, Teddy's gone, like we have to go and find him. And he's like, oh okay. Then I get dressed and I'm in the car, and I go up the block and he's just like walking alone in the rain, and then he saw my car and I like pulled over. I got out of the door and he's run up to me, Mom. Like you could just see he was like, oh my god. And I was like, oh thank god he didn't go too far, because 3 in the morning in a storm is not exactly when I'd like to be driving around the dark streets, because we're out in the country. But yeah, he gets a bit jumpy. The thing is, he either crawls himself, like he could jump our fence, no worries. I mean, both dogs could jump the fence, but they haven't. They've never attempted it. But Teddy will like dig himself out, and then he'll just stand there on the other side of the fence just crying for you because he can't work out how to get himself back in. And I'm like, well then don't go out, mate. Like, just stay in. We always go to him as soon as we hear the noise. Like, it's not like he's left alone while, like, as it's happening. As soon as we hear it, we're out the door. We're like to get him to make sure he gets inside. But no, he just fight or flight, and he flies. It's really good though, because we've got, obviously our house is out in the country a bit, so we've got a big long driveway, and we have the gate at the end of it. And Teddy's really good, like he won't go too far, he goes into the neighbour's yard, or there's a little bush on the council strip that has a tree on it that he has to sniff and make sure no other dog has peed on it. And then he goes straight back into the yard, like he doesn't run away if the gate's open. So when we got the puppy, I was like, we have to train him to not run away while the gate's open. So, you know, we have a lead that's kind of down near the gate, so they'll put him on the lead, and then one of the kids just sits there with him and says, oh, good boy, because he's staying in and he's not pulling on his lead. And so we're like rewarding him for not going. And now he just kind of like will look at you at the door, and then look, I missed this one, not that one, I missed this one. Annoying. Yep, for shoresies. That's why I normally do the hair last, because then at least I know the colours are just going to be filled in, not missed so easily like this one. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, he's really good now. Like, he won't try to run out anymore. He just kind of sits there and watches and waits until you get out of the car or whatever, so that he can get his pat for being a good boy. But it's good. It didn't take us long to kind of train him that that's what we needed him to do, and that he wasn't allowed to like run out of the yard, because he has done it a few times, because obviously he's a puppy. We have a park across the road, we have other animals that walk past and all of that, so he gets very excited about seeing other puppies and other friends. So for him to be able to just kind of calmly sit there when we open and close the gate is awesome. He has this one little friend that I was out helping my partner put the glass panels onto our deck fence, and this lady walked past with this beautiful dog, and she said, oh, these two are friends, because Bear went bounding out. She goes, the other dog doesn't like him so much. And I was like, Teddy? Like, oh, because Teddy's pretty friendly, like he's not aggressive towards other dogs or anything like that just walk past. Anyway, sure enough, Bear's run over to the fence to like sniff and kind of say hello to this other dog that he really likes that walks past, and then Teddy sees it. Teddy goes running over and gets in Bear's face and like barks at him until Bear like goes to walk away, and then Teddy's like, oh good, and walks away. And I was like, you possessive little thing, you can't do that. So then we're like, oh great, now we have to teach Teddy that, you know, Bear's not his property. He can't just not let Bear have any friends. I was like, God, for someone who, you know, like for a dog who used to like being alone, didn't really like having other dogs around, he's awfully attached to Bear if he's choosing his friends for him. I watched it happen, and then I said to one of the kids, just hold Teddy so that Bear can like say hello to his friend. And then I said to my partner afterwards, like, did you see that? Like, that is so weird. He's never really he's never like really cared about any other dogs walking past or anything like that in particular. So yeah, just pure jealousy on his part because Bear has another friend. It's ridiculous. So what is that? 81. 81. Yeah, that kind of looks like the sky. Or the background. Yeah, it's not in her hair. Okay. Not in her hair. It is a bit more purpley than red, but still I thought it might be part of her hair. Okay, let's go this way with it. Whoop. Nearly done, only 2 more colours. I've pulled this. Did that get it? No. I really need to find where my tweezers went from in my little... Where my tweezers went out of my cross-stitching corner. Grabs those little bits of fluff that I've just blown up my nose. I did that. Grabs that little bit of fluff that my fingers can't get because they're too pudgy. I got this new stand for my phone, which I keep knocking, and I apologise for that, but it's just, it's going to be some teething until we get this right. So bear with me, please. But I got it, and it's got like 3 poles along the body part of it, the stand part, so you can have it at different heights. And I was setting it up, and I put the 3rd pole on, and my partner's like, "Oh, are you sure?" He said, "I don't know if you should use all 3 of those poles." And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, you're not exactly tall." And he's like, "Are you standing up to do your cross stitching?" And I was like, rude. So then he made a joke about me being really short. And then I was like, "Oh, well, that's how you're going to be about it." And like, you know, pretend mad at him about it. And then a little bit later on, he said something to me. And Benny was sitting in the room with us. And then I said something about, "Oh, you keep your big nose out of it." And then Ben starts cacking up laughing. And my partner's like, "What? How dare you say that to me? And I said, oh, now we're even. You called me short and I mentioned your nose, which you're awfully sensitive about. He doesn't have a big nose. I don't know why he's so sad. He broke... he did, like, it was all a joke. Like, we weren't really arguing about it. But he, he's had his nose broken when he was a teenager. So there is, like, you can kind of see it is a little bit misshapen from it being broken, and that's just the way it's healed. And then he said to me, yeah, he's had a doctor once. He said something to me about bringing it up, because he said, you're just like the doctors. They all want to know what happened to my nose. And I was like, oh, okay. Didn't know so many people were interested in your nose, but I was like, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I won't mention it again. It's our anniversary on Sunday. So that'll be nice. Not that we do too much. A bit hard when you've got 4 kids, but I'll do a special dinner or something. Something just here. We won't go out because I'll have I'll have the boys, Ben and Josh. But yeah, my partner, his kids won't be with us, but still, we'll just do something quiet at home with the boys. Oh, this feels like this is taking forever, this piece of hair. I think, like, the more I'm getting into it, the more it looks okay. It looks good. You know, it's hard when you're working on projects and you're only, like, looking at one part of it. And so, like, your focus is so zoomed in on this one part, and you're like, oh, I don't know if it's looking any good. Like, it kind of makes you question it a bit because you can't really see everything, and you're just like, oh. And then you take a step back and you look at it and you're like, oh no, that looks good. Like, you can tell why the pattern was created that way. Like, that always just tricks my brain. Because you're just working so intently on one section that it kind of doesn't click to you that when you take a step back and you view the whole picture, it is always so much more beautiful than you would expect. So I have to remind myself with the hair, because, like, my stitching corner is in my bedroom. So when I'm sitting in bed, I can see my work. And so, like, when I'm looking at it from in bed and I'm that far away from it and I take my Q snaps off, the stitched parts when I'm not actually working on it, then yeah, like when you see it all like that from that distance, I'm like, oh yeah, that does look really good. But you know, you second guess yourself, especially when you're changing a pattern. Oh well, I always do. I don't know, not everyone might, but I always second guess myself, like, oh, should have just done it the way they wanted me to do it. Okay. Pop that one down the bottom. Whoops it is. Oh. Okay. That one down the bottom, and then we've got one colour left. 73. Whoop. $73. Oh, what have I done there? Okay, whatever. I'll sort that out another day. This is one of those times where you'll witness that I've made a mistake, and I'm just going to roll with that. I mean, I could unpick it. Both of the threads have ended just there. Oh, quick, make up your mind, Fiona. Make up your mind, make up your mind. Oh, that one's going to be under them. Oh my goodness. A video full of mistakes. How did I get so wrong? Okay, so this one I can rescue. This other one might be too short. Guys, you really should have told me when I made my mistake. If someone could have just jumped through the phone and said, Fiona, fix that. That would have been lovely. Oh my god. Now I can't get it back on the needle. so frustrated right now. Get on the needle. I wish I knew where one of the kids' needle threaders was, because this is starting to drive me bonkers. Everything is going wrong today. I don't normally have this much trouble with thread slipping out. I don't normally have this much trouble with threading my needle. And I mean, I make mistakes, but I didn't think I've made this many mistakes. It's just now I'm on camera and the universe is deciding to mess with me. I was trying not to cut it to make sure that I could get it on the thread and get those things back done, but just had to cut those ends off. See if this helps me thread it. What an entertaining video for you guys. We've had our highs, we've had our lows, we've had me failing. There we go. Alright, we're on. Okay. What do I need? I actually need... No, I need this one. So this one has to go... This one has to go there. Oh, see, I threaded that one easier. Alright, pull this out from the bottom. Oh no, this is dramatic. 1, 2. Perfect. What? Still in all of this from back here. Okay. Park that waist thread. Nailed it. That one's done. Now let's see if we can get this in the right spot. Easy fix if you don't consider the 10 minutes I just spent trying to thread the needle. Ugh. The drama. Perfect. Now we can go back to doing this one and having everything right. Whoa. Oh, alrighty. Back on track. I bet you those 3 stitches I just changed are not going to be anything anywhere important. Like I was thinking, oh, it might be a swirl. It might be, you know, like, oh, I should fix it. But I bet you it's going to be nothing. It's just going to be a patch of red like what's over on this side. Right, I should change that back over before I... Okay, so we do our last couple of stitches. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you all stayed through all of my fails. If you like and subscribe, that would be great. If you want to leave me a comment, I'd love that. If you have any suggestions, any advice, also love that. And I hope that you enjoyed my just a little insight into what I am doing on my camera. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry about my camera. We'll figure this camera thing out, I promise. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed a little bit of insight into how I'm doing the hair. I hope it was helpful. Thanks so much for watching. We will leave that one there on... Did I just do the same thing? Oh my god, failing right to the end. Can't even close a video without... There we go. Oh my goodness. Dramatic. I've got another cat who's rubbing up on the stand. Loki, go away, bud. 2 minutes, we're just saying goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe and ignore the cats. Thanks everyone. Bye.